What is going on? TJ, Justin, how are we doing? Sunday night, the rundown is back. A lot of things to chat about. NFL all day, DFS, just about anything else that the chat wants to toss in a topic or two on. We're here to chat and just bring some entertainment to the people. How you guys doing this evening?
Nice little Sunday in the works. Got some giveaways, I think, that we've got to spin the wheel for today. So good to get that back in action. We got the Phillies going to the World Series. Shout out baseball. I've watched my 10 innings per year the last couple of games, and I'll watch the rest of them. So I'll just hop on the bandwagon when the time is right. And Steelers are off to a very Steelers-like start. So all is well in the world.
I'm up in wine country. I went to Napa, which is just an absolute just spiral suck of money. You just drop money left and right at all these vineyards, and you know what? It's probably like a 100th of the amount that I probably lost in DFS today. So it is a rough day. The only good news is I've got some Pliny the Elder, some of the best beer in the country. So I'm gonna pop this open. It's Sunday evening. How's everyone doing?
Love it, man. Justin, the perfect distraction. I don't have to watch my Steelers for the next hour. I can just focus in, watch Justin drink his primo beer. And I mean, we had a Honda Civic, parking an extra Honda Civic in the garage last week. This week, it sounds like we gave a little bit of that back, and we will get into some of those decisions that were made. And that's the life of someone who's playing some higher stakes DFS. Some weeks go really well, and other weeks don't go as well. So part of the game.
That Honda Civic just turned it right back to the dealership. Should have been making some rental payments on. Should have done like a 1 month lease instead. Maybe just should have gone to a rental car agency. Never should have bought that Honda Civic.
My Steelers look like we might get on the board here, which is nice to see. I don't want to see this 0 for too much longer. Boz, can we knock it through? All right, at least we do that. Yeah, I don't know where we want to honestly start here, boys. No real planned agenda. I don't know if you guys had some things that you wanted to cover initially. I think we'll get into some of the playbook stuff. I think it was another interesting setup across the Thursday night, Sunday slate, Sunday night, Monday night challenge. I think they clearly are trying to do varying levels of difficulties with these challenges and with the playbook. So I'm sure we'll cover some of that, but I don't know where do we want to start, TJ?
Can we start with injuries? So obviously I didn't get to watch like the red zone or too much, but we're still trying to pay attention here and there on the phone stuff. But just brutal injury day it felt like, and to some like top primo players. So early signs are Breece Hall comes in the game, has a 65 or so yard touchdown. 3-4 straight games was going to have like big games, was increasing his overall kind of usage. And sad signs there, but it sounds like it's going to be an ACL. Then we got Mike Williams. Great spot there with Keenan Allen come back, but not 100%. Had his touchdown, and sounds like, I'm not sure what that injury was. DK Metcalf as well, but x-rays were negative there, thankfully, but they're still going to do an MRI. I think there were a couple others as well. Like, damn, what a rough week for injuries, rough day.
Yeah, man, the Breece Hall one.
Yeah,
the Breece Hall one definitely bummed me out for sure. He was looking good. Someone I had in my a couple of different teams, but yeah, that one stunk. Especially after I think it was like you said, Justin. It's been 3 pretty big games, and I think in each one of those games he had like a 40 or a 50-yard run at least. So he breaks off one of those to sort of start things off, and then a couple plays later it seemed like he was out. So I mean, pretty rough one there.
I will say fantasy implications, like Michael Carter might be an absolute stud. Like he could be a legit league winner. And I know we like to like throw that word around. But that team wants to run the ball. Running is going to be in their DNA. They're actually a pretty efficient team. And we know Michael Carter can catch passes from a fantasy standpoint. Like last year, he had those 2 games. I think he had 7 and 9 catches or so. Earlier in this year, he even had like a pretty high total one. I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up getting some of the most usage in the league. Now, yeah, they may like have the Ty Johnson standpoint, may kind of sub in some other running backs, but they're not going to go trade for someone. They're not going to give someone else like the majority of the work. Like Michael Carter is going to be an every week start going forward. Unfortunate that it had to happen with such a tough injury to Breece Hall when he was looking so good. But I think Michael Carter is going to make the most of the situation for fantasy owners.
He'll be a strong best ball guy to own, I assume, too, as well.
Yeah, and like I mean,
Stretch.
right. So like I'm low on Brees Hall. I think I'm only 4% of him. Michael Carter I had 14%. Like, yeah, it helped my portfolio. I still feel like shit. And like that was one of the ones where it was like I was probably off on the Brees Hall. I thought his price was a little high, but no, it turns out like if he was healthy, like he's arguably a end of first round pick for the rest of the season. Yeah. Kenneth
I agree
Walker,
with
too.
this one as well. Kenneth Walker's just a beast out there. I mean, how about this? Like, I find it's so funny to me that the Seahawks are like good and the Broncos are absolutely terrible. Like, obviously Russell Wilson didn't play today, but it's pretty it's pretty funny that, I mean, hey, they continue to just get it done. And yeah, I didn't see what happened on Metcalf either. Like the final result there. I know he missed the game.
MRIs
Yeah,
are
Seahawks
negative. His
continue
last
to get
I
it done.
saw. Yeah. Yeah, so Kenneth Walker, I mean, hey, he's always been close to my heart. Was a Wake Forest boy before transferring to Michigan State for that final year.
Michigan State cat. Yep.
And it was interesting because the knock on him coming out of college is that he wasn't a pass catcher. But the thing is, in a Wake Forest offense with the mesh style offense that they run, which is that delayed rush option, they're not asking running backs to ever catch passes. Then you go to Michigan State, and Michigan State running backs rarely ever catch passes either. It's more that ground and pound. And so, yeah, historically, and I think it was JJSS that I was having a conversation with about this, like historically, running backs that aren't catching the ball in college don't just magically start catching them in pros. But he was I'd say an outlier example where he never actually was asked to do that, and their teams didn't leverage running backs that way. We see him come to pros. Last week, he only ran 3 fewer routes than I think it was DJ Dallas, who we thought was going to be the pass-catching back for Seattle. Come in this week and boom, came back right where he left off. And like, he legit could be a workhorse. Not only is he one of the best runners, he's got like that Nick Chubb style running ability, which is extremely efficient. So he could be one of the best pure runners in the game. And if he's actually going to be used in the pass game, someone in chat, let me know how many catches he had today. I think I saw a few. Yeah, if he can be game script independent, where, even if they're down, he still has, because they were ahead this game. But if he can actually be like, hey, playable in games they're down, again, absolute stud.
Yeah, I was trying to check out number of catches here. I know you had several, but yeah. I mean, definitely seems like a lot of people were on him before and are on him in a big way now that he's being featured the way he is. Did I see that Jamar Chase got hurt too? But I think it was something small. But I thought he came back, but I could be wrong there. I don't know if either of you guys saw that.
He had 2 TDs and 99 yards, was it? I think it was like 2 TDs and 99 yards. Then I think he got the injury. Hadn't seen after that, but I've also haven't heard too much concern after the fact for that one. So that would have been a horrible one as well. Let's see what he finished with. He finished 8 for 130 and 2 TDs. Just an absolute smash day again for Jamar Chase. It really seems to be like, those top 5 picks in fantasy, or I guess top 6 picks were Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Austin Eckler. And Jonathan Taylor with the injury and such, but all the others really look like fantastic picks and just a tier above the rest.
At what point do we start taking Josh Jacobs seriously as like a true top tier running back?
2 weeks ago,
like 3 weeks in a row now, he's put up like 30 plus points on like massive workloads. Yeah. So he just had another huge game today.
Yeah, and I think with him, like, he had the pedigree, come into the league, first round talent, and before he was not really being used much in the passing game. And like that coaching staff historically has not been the type that likes to use a workhorse either. So going into the season, and it goes back to that preseason, the Hall of Fame game where he took snaps, substantial snaps in that game, and everyone was like down on him. And it was, well, hey, they drafted Zamir White. Maybe he's going to get some play. You've got 2 different pass catchers there that could kind of, split in that workload. But what we saw the last 3 weeks was no. They want to use him. They're going to use him heavily. They'll use him in the passing game. They trust him inside. And when you keep having these other kind of peripheral injuries with Hunter Renfrow and now Darren Waller, just gives him more and more tread. And obviously, fantastic matchup. primo not matchup today. Like it doesn't get any better than that. What's interesting is like they didn't pick up his option as his fifth year option. So I don't think this is like, oh, he's a transcendent talent or anything like that. I think just the volume he's getting in that offense, and the offense is a pretty good offense, is just a great fantasy situation. Now, there's going to be games where we're not going to want to start him. So, I mean, I wouldn't say like he's at that upper where like, hey, you start him every single week and you know it's going to be a smash. But if he's at least involved in the passing work, like he's still giving you some value.
For sure.
Yeah, shout out.
We love our Josh Jacob for JJ. I saw some people that were rocking the Josh Jacob hero in Rumble in honor of JJ. So we've got our Josh Jacobs, Justin Jefferson, any of the other double J players are immediately our new fan favorites.
Yeah, definitely.
Jimmy Johnson, but that's another sport.
Justin, go name every person you know double J's.
So I have a slight advantage.
Shout out to chat, man.
The
shout
scavenger
out Special
hunt.
Agent. Shout out a few others in the chat. Go ahead, scavenger hunt. Get it.
With the scavenger hunt, we had JJ references. For you had to get like signed cards by JJ. Yeah, you get nicknames. You got JJ Watt. Let's see, who else do we got? Chat, give us some other JJ sport athletes. Jamar Jefferson. There you go. You got Jameer Jenkins, the old cornerback. This can only go on for so long.
How many can you get?
Juwan Jennings.
JJ Redick?
He of multiple touchdowns.
Yeah, we'll count JJ Redick. Oh, Juwan Jennings. There we go. Yep. Chat's on it. Gotta love JJ Redick. JJ was classic, man.
And now he's just turned into a podster.
Yeah.
Great one.
Yeah, he's good. He does some announcing too, right? I think he announces some NBA games as well. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's in it's on the media side of NBA a bunch for sure. All right, we gotta hit Stogie's question. Question one: Should we be buying Gesicki at $13 right now for Sunday Night Challenge? I just pulled up Flash Challenge Terminal. He's got an 18-yard reception. It is tight end with the longest reception. I think that one's a pretty good purchase, pretty locked in. It's up 30%, so it's already at it's still at 13, but yeah, I'm sure that's going to move if you're looking to lock in some of the yards from the playbook. I think it's probably a good bet.
Is the playbook tonight does the player have to have a moment? Because I know they've been doing it sometimes where it's like from the pool of players who have all day moments, the longest catch by a tight end, or because there are a couple tight ends in this game who don't probably have moments, like Durham Smythe.
Yeah, it's a good point. I believe we are getting some more clarity from all day on who is eligible for, receiving these, playing in these challenges. I believe that thus far they have said that it is only players with moments. So if someone, didn't have a moment, it would default to the next person, the next longest reception from a player that did have a moment. So it is more the eligible list of people that have moments. So I think Freiermuth is what we're showing as a projected long, but yeah, his longest right now is 8. So I think it's a 1v1 battle, and 18 feels pretty solid to lock in.
So 18, knowing you already have it, knowing that if Freiermuth passed him, Gesicki still has a chance to get it. I'd put Gesicki at probably about like a 80% favorite.
Yeah, definitely feels right.
15% that Freiermuth has a reception longer than that. 5% comeback then that Gesicki could have an even longer one or such. So, yeah.
Who else is here? Yeah, we're gonna get to giveaways. If you follow those instructions, if you were a pre-minter or if you were someone who posted your screenshot in the Boom Fantasy channels, we'll get to you guys. We got 2 of those coming up before the show ends. Shout out to everyone else in the chat. Appreciate everyone kind of tuning in, giving us any kind of topics or questions or thoughts that you have as well. TJ, yeah, Philly's going to the World Series. Eagles undefeated. Flyers seemingly starting out the season hot. I mean, the Sixers have 2 losses and the world is burning in the Sixers land, it seems like. But man, only 2 games into the season, I feel like a lot of things are going really, really nicely for Philly sports fans. The city may burn down by the end of 2023.
Yeah, Philly's happy right now. They were out like, this is actually dead serious. They were out in the city earlier today, greasing up the street poles in anticipation of the friggin' Philly idiots climbing the poles. And then I still saw videos of people, that just makes it more of a challenge. And obviously, it's not going to totally stop people. But yeah, it's fun times to be in Philly, be a Philly fan, and definitely a passionate fan base here. I mean, Bryce Harper is worth the money just based on.
Turns out
I mean,
you
that's
get what
just
you
what it
pay
comes
for.
down to, right? Like,
Turns out you
literally
get what you
based
pay
on
for.
just this. Like, yeah, it's been up and down for him, but he's a beast and he's clutch, and the whole team is looking great.
Is
And
Bryce wearing his eye black? I've seen a couple Jolly Jokers having the Bryce Harper eye black. That kind of
there it is. Yeah, he's always rocking the swag, man. And then you got all my girlfriend's always like, what's with the baseball players and this like ugly long hair look? Like, why do they all have that? Because there's like so many players that just have the long hair. We got the guy Marsh on our team that apparently hasn't washed his hair in like months or something crazy.
This coming from a hockey bro.
Yeah. Oh, I used to rock the long hair back in the day. Flowing out of the helmet. You got to do it.
You guys didn't shave. You guys barely showered. And you're ragging on the baseball.
It is definitely true that, man, when the playoffs run deep in the NHL, it is just like a bunch of people that you're staring at like, why do you have this look at all? Which is incredibly insane. I always thought that if you introduce someone to hockey middle of the playoffs and they were watching all of these NHLers, some of them having the most disgusting like patchy beards ever, and other guys looking like freaking straight out of lumberjack beards, like they would be like, why do people do this? It would be a very fun time to introduce someone to the sport of hockey, that's for sure.
My favorite is because I've hung out like back in the day with some of the Lightning players, and when hockey players just on demand just start taking their teeth out, and you just see like they go from these nice smiles to just like they pull them out and they've got 3, 4, 5 teeth missing, and it's just like the absolute norm for like world-class elite NHL hockey players making $100 million.
Yeah, shout out Special Agent. I think someone else brought this up in the Discord. For as long as Juju was on the Steelers, I never thought of him as JJSS, but yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster, man, JJSS. He's the head honcho of the acronym.
I believe when we first announced JJSS, or we teased JJSS, someone I have a couple ideas who it might have been. I want to throw it up. But one of our regulars was like, definitely thought you were teasing some kind of like OTM partnership with Juju. And I mean, I'm not going to say that we're not. Like, as long as like if it happens in the next, who knows? Like, this is a 25+ year thing. That's not what we haven't announced that right now.
We got a lot of things to announce, man. We got a lot of things to announce. Plenty of activity going to be happening over the course of the next 25 years, like you say, Justin.
If Juju helps win me $2 million for the underdog best ball, then we can devote some of that to JJSS sponsorship of JJSS. I see a couple you mentioned. Oh, Jerry Jeudy, who had a pretty good game today as well. And then, yeah, definitely Julio Jones was a good one, but not as top of mind right now because he can't stay healthy.
Bull Raider was asking earlier, I believe, I couldn't find this question. Where's it? Where's comment? Where is it at? He was asking about Mint. We do have someone. We have several people out there that have 6 Jolly Jokers. We have one individual that has 7 Jolly Jokers. So he is the leader in the clubhouse with the most amount of mints. I am blanking on the name at the current moment, but yes, there is a person out there with 7 Jolly Jokers. So they are the leader in the clubhouse for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, a couple people have asked you. So props to you. Well done making sure in a highly secure manner, making sure we got the token gated channels going and the verification. And it doesn't seem like there have been really many issues there. As of now, the verification, we wanted to make it just as simple as possible, was own at least one, and you get access into those channels and such. As you've mentioned, in the future, we're going to have additional roles that are based off how many you do own. So keep an eye on that. That's definitely a downstream thing. But for those people that do have whether it's the 3, the 6, the 7, however much it is, we're gonna have some fun with that going forward too.
Yeah, that's definitely coming for sure. And shout him out, man. Ramon Martinez, shout him out. The Hammer HBP. That's right. That is the name that has 7 Jolly Jokers. So shout out you, the Hammer. Appreciate you being in the chat. Appreciate you following us, man. Super pumped for all the things we have coming in the future. But yeah, we're definitely going to have multi-token ownership roles in the Discord. There's plenty of things that are going to get done. I will say, I think I posted this as a response to Justin's comment in the Discord earlier. It's just a different project. It's a different kind of project. The utility is built. We have forcing functions with OTM Premium coming up. We're going to have more forcing functions with the Rumble contest going live around week 10. There's just a lot of things that we're teeing up, and it's going to be a fun ride. Our goal is to continue to basically showcase the value that we're bringing, but also create a good environment for the people that are currently holders and listen to those people and hear what they're having to say, thinking about other tools that we can build, thinking about unique contests that we can bring. So yeah, tons of things coming in the future for sure.
Yeah. And I think, we are a utility first project, and that's extremely important. That's what we've really wanted. And I think the clear difference between like the craziness of last year with NFTs and all those, those PFP projects that were built where price was purely a speculative and hype-driven thing, what that ends up happening is it's a kicking the can down the road and in hopes that you're able to get out before it crashes, because there's no actual underlying strong foundation. We've taken the completely different approach. Like, let's build that foundation first. Let's build it with the analytics site. Let's then continue to build things with the gamification, with the other community aspects and other things that we haven't announced, but we're going to be. And so a lot of the value for the Jolly Jokers that we really see, hey, that's a long-term one as there's continued growth. It's about building sustainable, like our absolute goal is in the end, you end up having 5,000 people that own 5,000 Jolly Jokers. And the way that we get to that is we continue to build high quality products that are in demand, that are valuable. And we continue to partner with the companies that we feel are going to be very successful in this space, such as what we've done with Dapper. And you look at Dapper, and they made that mention of the 35 million to 60 million. Like, we know that they are a huge billion-dollar company. We know that they are going to continue to be spending tens of millions of dollars to onboard new people into the space. We are in a very fortunate position with OTM because of the amazing work the team's done with the analytics site, that when people find out about the Dapper Lab Sports, we're the second company that they always find out about. And that's why you have almost all the active users that are using Top Hat, that are using All Day, are also using OTM. And so if you are bullish, if you are bullish and you believe that Dapper Labs is still going to be here in 1, 2, 5 years, then it makes sense that obviously they're going to have growth. They need sustainable growth and bringing in and helping to onboard new people into Web3. And our hope is that as people join there, they're going to then find out about OTM and the Jolly Jokers. And one of our clear missions and why we partner with so many of these communities is we want to make sure that when people find out they have their first experience with NBA Top Shot, with NFL All Day, that's not their only Web3 experience. Because yes, hey, there's a lot of positives, and owning the moments and watching the highlights is an amazing and fantastic thing. But if someone maybe gets burned because they make bad trading decisions or their price goes down, we don't want that to be their only Web3 experience. We want to then introduce them to so much more that this Web3 space and sports space and community has to offer. And that's what we're trying to do, where yes, help with the education, with the tools and the analytics, but also let's build out all these other forms of games, whether it's Rumble, whether it's games gamification in the Discord, whether it's other things we have planned up forward, or it's just the amazing community that we have and all the other experiences that are going to happen in IRL, as well as some of the gamification aspects that we want them to do, or the community partners and all those other experiences that they have. Let us be that kind of that launch off point, that place where you can, hey, you found out about Dapper Labs, now you're in the Jolly Jokers, you found out OTM, let's create that best long-term Web3 sports experience. And that's where, like, yeah, what's happened now, we've gotten some great momentum, but this is so much more about the next 1, 2, 5, 10, 25 years.
For sure. See people asking about the communities as well, like who has the top ranked communities. That could share something. I believe the 9 Lives Lounge is at the top right now. But yeah, we're going to be doing some more stuff with the communities this week. And yeah, like Coop and Justin had said, we're just getting started with the mint process. Got a ton of stuff planned for this week. We've got OTM Premium launching next week. We'll have the gated Rumble contests that are starting in November, and it's gonna be tons of fun. Got so many excited things planned, and it's been also nice to be getting utility to holders right off the jump. So shout out to those of you that have minted already. Especially shout out to those of you that have minted multiple, and look forward to continuing to grow out the community and get these jokers in the hands of the people.
The pick touchdown right there. Kenny Pickens and George Pickens. Going to be seeing that a lot.
I think I was going robot there for a little bit. I'm trying to watch the game, do the stream, pull up Flash Challenge Terminal, pull up my lineups. I'm trying to do too many things on my computer over here, so I was getting rugged there. So I actually turned the game off, and then Steelers scored a touchdown, which is fantastic. Yeah, that legendary from Pickens is definitely on my list. I actually have a couple other Steeler moments that are on my list ahead of things. And frankly, the way that we, and or at least myself, the way I collect all day, as I really try to, as a football fan, try to collect things that I know I'm never going to sell and I'm going to give to my son one day. I think those are the coolest moments to try to get. So yeah, the Ben legendary is on my list. I think I was tempted to buy it if it dropped below $1,000. I think there was a sale at 1050. It never got below 1,000, but that's been on my list. And yeah, that Pickens one is going to be on the list for sure. I think those are cool moments, and yeah, things that you want to keep. I saw that the Troy Polamalu moment was in the challenge here for Sunday night as one of the options, just because you need a rare. So that was in the challenge for a little bit of time, which I think is also cool. So yeah, just a different approach that I have to collecting all day, less on the gamification side and more on the, hey, what do I want to keep, hold, and ultimately literally lock up and never sell. So that's just my own personal plan and approach.
That's just because we can't play Rumble.
It is. There's also a huge part of it as well. I totally would have been someone out there buying a Dalton, to be honest. I thought that score for Rumble was such a high score, such a high floor. I would have locked in the points on that one. And I know a lot of people talked about Arizona defense too. So I think both of those were pretty good locks, given the scores that they had for Rumble this week.
Do we have ownership for today? Maybe we talk through a little. Because I think that, a couple people were chatting about like the strategy aspects of Rumble. And do you go with Dalton? Do you go with the defense aspect from the Arizona defense, because how much they put up? Would love to kind of review that, and then can kind of chat through Lamar was the highest projected on the slate, but obviously gave a bunch there. Burrow ended up giving you the upside.
Yeah, Burrow came in on the winning lineup, as he did across pretty much every DFS site. Only 12% owned in Rumble, which is nice value there. Had the Burrow Jamar Chase stack here. Jamar Chase hero only 5% owned there. Obviously, huge game for him. Locked in that Arizona defense with the Rumble wrinkle. So yeah, Arizona coming in at 32% owned at 20 points, which
should be higher.
Interesting. I mean, I was about to say that seems light. And I would have expected more, given a 20-point lock in is pretty nice.
So, and I think we talked last week. We sort of set that mark at like 15-ish points. So to me, the 20, I would have thought as many people as possible could have locked it in. But yeah, interesting to know that. I mean, that might ultimately be kind of the ceiling. I don't know that we've seen. I haven't honestly paid too much attention to Rumble ownership percentages, but I know 30 is definitely pretty high. I don't know that we've seen anything higher than something like that. So that might be around the ceiling.
30 is very high. Can you, while we're talking, see if you can find Dalton? I want to know what his ownership was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's really interesting. So this is the first time that I think we had such strong scores, especially for QB and defense.
Wow.
What, 12?
Only 12%, yeah.
Right. So I think this is a good indicator for how many people are actually paying attention of the free contest. Now, I don't want this to be confused when we get to the Jolly Joker token gated ones. Those are the people who are, I don't want to say smarter, but maybe they're more informed with the strategic aspects. They're, playing for higher stakes. They're a little more just sharper, I would say. But I think for the main free Rumble contest, you don't have that many people, I think, who are actually grinding, grinding the scores from Thursday, plugging that in, going and buying a $20 Andy Dalton. Well, I think this tells us that Arizona, 33%, just about anyone that wanted to play an Arizona defensive player could get that in because there were enough cheap defensive players, I think, to sub in there. So maybe 40 to 50% maybe were interested, 33% actually did it. Okay. With Dalton, only 12% did it. Maybe you had somewhere around that 40% or so that like were interested but decided not to buy one or decided to go for a higher upside elsewhere. I think my takeaway here is that we can expect around half the field are not paying attention to the rumble, wrinkle, and the strategy aspects in the Thursday if only 33% played a 20-point Arizona.
Yeah.
Did you guys see,
definitely? Yeah, go for it.
Did you guys see in maybe in the Rumble, one of the channels this morning, the Jolly Joker, someone was asking like, "Hey, I'm not sure who I should play, whether it's Jamar Chase or Derrick Henry in flex." I don't know if either saw that.
I did not see that. No.
So I'm curious, like now hindsight, but like my answer was like I don't think I gave like a straight up one or the other, but I mentioned like I think it's hard to play someone like Jamar Chase in flex without stacking Burrow because since this is such a high upside you're going for, to get the nuts there, you need Jamar Chase to have a huge game, but then Burrow not to have a huge game. Because if Chase has the huge game with Burrow, someone else who played that stack is going to beat you. So you're really kind of hoping for a middling outcome where like Chase has the huge game, but Burrow doesn't. Your QB does better. So I was like, I think I'd rather go for like a Derrick Henry, where when Derrick Henry goes 100 plus yards and 3 touchdowns, you don't have to worry about, oh, well, is this other player also not doing that great? And so for Rumble and specifically the flex, maybe I'm more likely to do one of the two. Either one, put my flex as a running back, which then doesn't have to worry about that stack aspect, or two, pick a wide receiver that doesn't have a QB that has substantial upside. And maybe that would be an example of who do we have?
I mean, like to me, like Pickett is one of those guys where if he's gonna just pepper, one it's somebody who's peppering one specific target, one specific.
Justin Jefferson's probably the most prime.
Yeah, Jefferson. That's a good one. Yeah,
Pittman's another one because he had 13, 14 targets last week. But you're not going to want to play Matt Ryan as the QB. And yeah, Justin Jefferson's I think is a perfect one because he's arguably. I mean, Cooper Kupp too. You don't really want to play Matthew Stafford,
True.
Especially not the current one. So that's just where I'm saying, but we know that Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow can literally be number one QB. I think he was QB 1, 2 of the past 3 weeks or something. So just an interesting, yeah.
Yeah, and this was definitely a unique week in that both Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts were on bye. So the two, every week it's been like the kind of stone cold locks that have the floor ceiling combo of the rushing, and both of them on bye. And having the Dalton option from Thursday, I feel like made it a pretty interesting one. And then,
oh my God, what is going on?
What happened?
Literally, Tua
looked like
throws a stone cold pick right in the guy's hands, like the worst throw ever. 15 seconds left to go before the half. Take away a field goal from them, and this dude just straight up drops it.
That was not a good drop.
God.
You guys got all your picks on offense.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, dude, that could not have been more in the hands.
What is that? That was terrible.
Can we talk
Sutton's
college?
Actually been quite good too.
Can we talk college football?
Wake Forest is legit, man. I was all over Wake Forest this week, man. And I hammered the whiteout. I thought that was the very disrespectful line. Like Minnesota's not that great of a team to come into the whiteout and be less than a touchdown favorite. It was disrespectful. So I hammered both of those. So
both our schools looked great yesterday.
Yeah, agreed. Wake Forest is legit, man. I think, after you told me about the Wake Forest, I knew that they had lost to Clemson, but I thought that they could have easily won that game. And man, Clemson, so many people were talking about Clemson being the truth. If Wake Forest wins that game and holds on the way that they could have held on easily, it's a very different conversation around Wake Forest for sure.
Yeah. Their rookie QB just is not that good. And he played his best game of the year, far none, against Wake Forest. And yeah, that was the game that went to double OT. I think Wake would probably be ranked like 5 or 6 right now if they won that game because they'd be undefeated. Instead, I know Wake is 10 in the coaches poll, 13 in AP, so like right there. It's a fun team. And the QB is Sam Hartman is just on his way to basically potentially going to break every ACC record currently held by Phillip Rivers and such.
Yeah, he's legit, man. He is pretty freaking legit. Yeah, I think they look good. I think they're repping the ACC really well. I think that Clemson win does ultimately look better and better every week that Wake Forest plays well. Yeah, Penn State guys, I think super happy about the win. Frankly, I think you also look back on the Michigan game and you just say, man, Michigan was a good team and they kicked our ass. I think that's how it happens in college football. You're trying to figure out who's a really good team. I think Michigan could just be one of those teams that are really good. They made us look really bad. That's how it went last week.
When's Ohio State for you guys?
This week. It's a big noon game this week on Saturday, big noon at Penn State. So it should be a good game. We'll find out a little bit more about us. Obviously, playing a big opponent on home field in college is huge. So we'll see if that does anything. I don't have the highest of hopes, and a lot of people are calling for Alar to play, 5-star freshman. So we'll see what happens. But I think Clifford played pretty well this past week, so I think they'll be ready to go for sure.
Yeah, it looks like lines are out. Ohio State's 15-point favorite on the road at Penn State.
Ohio State's pretty good.
Ohio State's very good.
I wouldn't be dying to lay to take Penn State in the 15 points, to be honest, especially not at noon.
Yeah, I mean, because I was saying that both Michigan and Ohio State, their really only tough opponents left were going to be the Penn State games. Ohio State specifically because it's at Penn State. But if Ohio State wins here, like I think they're going to meet both undefeated, and that's the game that I'll be traveling to.
That'll be the clash, man. Yeah, you're gonna have an awesome time for that game. If anybody is odds of them being both undefeated on that game got to be pretty high. So that's going to be one of the best college football games that happened this year. It'll be up there with all of the SEC games. Both of those teams are really good. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about that game, the possibility of that game. But Penn State, we're going to try to play a little bit of spoiler here this week. So we'll see what we can do.
Nothing to lose. That's for sure.
Amen.
At least, Just
all
go
right,
out there and
we
try
got
to ruin Ohio State's season. Nothing.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants to do at that point for sure. We got to get into a little DFS. It sounds like Justin had a little bit of a rough week. It sounds like previously you had a blunder maybe on one of the sites. Talk to us about your process and where things went wrong.
Yeah, I had. Well, so I did really well on FanDuel. Again, I always tend to do better on FanDuel and DraftKings. But yeah, I just I had a cash lineup on DraftKings that would have easily cashed everything, and then I don't know, I let this stupid Keenan Allen injury thing get into my head. The established run guy seemed pretty confident he wasn't going to play, and then I'm like, oh well, that's going to mean that Carter is a must play, but should never be altering my decision just because of some random ass punt receiver might become a good play. So I think it was pretty mentally weak decision making at the last minute. And then swapped into a 3v3 or something that didn't go great for me. And lessons learned. I was about to be I was on the DJ. I've been on the DJ Moore train since the beginning, and I played DJ Moore in my FanDuel lineup, and I had him in my first version of my DraftKings lineup, but then I swapped off of it, and the snowball effect of it really ended up with Justin Herbert at quarterback, and he was just terrible. He was just terrible.
He finished 290 and 2, but got ugly.
Did, but the number of times they were driving down the field, and then they'd have second and short, and then he'd just take a 11-yard sack, and then all of a sudden they got 3rd and 13, and then they just have to punt, and I was like, oh my god, they really. I mean, the games started he could have had a smash game, and just couldn't quite get there. Eckler is a beast, though. Eckler was absolutely killing it.
Yeah. I mean, so the DJ Moore thing is tough, though, because the only reason it was attractive is because he was 4,900. I mean, he was getting 25% of the target share, but that's 25% from PJ Walker, who had a negative average depth of the target last week. Like he must have hit he hit his top 1%, top 5% outcome this week. And like I know Optimal's like he was pumping because he's pumping because he's get 25%. You're going against Tampa. Game script is they have to pass, but like the algorithms just don't predict for like what PJ Walker is because you can't really account for that average at the target and how incompetent he has been. Just came out again. I didn't get to watch the game, but like I was it's my Bucks, so I was watching like on Game Tracker and stuff, and DJ Moore was just getting peppered with targets nonstop. Like makes sense. You don't have Christian McCaffrey. You got rid of Robbie Anderson. But like the fact that it was actually efficient touches and like that could have just so easily been a nothing burger.
And it got there from like the completely wrong thesis too. Like the thesis was like, oh, they're gonna be trailing, so they're gonna be throwing. But like no, they're just gonna kick the shit out of the Bucks instead. But yeah, I had my original lineup I had was like I think the lineup that Levitan played, and it was a massive train. But I had DJ Moore instead of Dobes. I had DJ instead of Dobes. So it was just a 1v1.
Romeo
and their lineup cashed in. He got a stone 0, but that lineup still cashed plenty.
Yeah, because the three running backs put up 120. And so what I was getting to is it wasn't so much like this week that if you're going to play DeAndre Carter, it wasn't because you wanted to get up to any elite guys. It was more of there wasn't that mid-value guy that you liked because DJ Moore, like DeAndre Carter with Keenan Allen could have outscored DJ Moore in, 30-40% of games. And so that was the idea was I didn't love that last spot at all. And so now we were giving ourselves some late swap flexibility with the Keenan Allen news. And yeah, it's tough. Like the reports that we were hearing was that Keenan Allen was not going to play. And so that's where all the assumptions were baked in. You also you thought Seattle was going to be a fairly easier game. They were 5.5 point favorites, I think 5 point favorites. And they have a bye next week. Like all signs made sense for Keenan not to play. He goes out, plays. He obviously was not 100%. I don't think he had much of an impact, but it was tough because even the 2 tight end lineup was still highly projected. Kate Otten still got there. But the big difference was those 3 running backs were kind of back to the days of it feels like, 2016, 17, where it was just like, hey, take your 2-3 running backs, plug them in, and we just smash nonstop. Now, we don't have the Le'Veon Bell, Christian McCaffrey, where they're just getting insane volume. But we've been and I say we as in the industry market, have just been spot on with hitting these chalk running backs nonstop. And so maybe it's because we're better. Maybe it's small sample size. I'm not sure. It's interesting. Usually this should have been a week that was an easy cash, but definitely feels a bit of fancy play syndrome kind of stabbed us in the ass.
Yeah, my thing was just like changing up so many things for something that I didn't even have conviction on of this random punt guy that might not play. Just seems so dumb. In what world was Carter going to break the slate and be the must have? And there weren't even high studs to pay for. So I'm saving all this money for what? To get up to Justin Herbert, who stinks anyways. Should have just played Geno Smith. I didn't like it when I was doing it, and then I instantly didn't like it once the game started, and especially once Herbert was just terrible.
The puzzle that is DFS, man. I think it's so fun to just talk about, to rehash what was out there, what was the decisions, and it's just a completely different puzzle than a lot of different things out there. So I think it's fun to chat through these things, and it can seem like before lock that such an easy or obvious choice to be made, and then when you start to assess the decision after the results come in, you can tell why would I ever do that, like you just said. But results is hindsight's always 20/20. So don't beat yourself up too much.
Special agent here is asking. My comp for Geno Smith this year is Alex Smith with the Chiefs, and I think is Geno Smith actually for real this year or just lucky? I think he's for real. Now, do I think he is a top 10 QB? No chance. Top 20, maybe. But for that system, he's perfect. The connection he has, the way that they're running that offense, it's a very efficient, and he's doing what Pete Carroll is basically coaching him to do. And I think Alex Smith was a very similar way where you're not asking him to make the tough passes, and your system is allowing for him to kind of thrive in lower risk scenarios while your players can kind of do the work. And it's not so much like the Tua style where it's a low A dot and then allow Tyreek and Waddle, whoever, to just like run for it, or even San Francisco. But he actually does have to make these downfield passes. He's throwing over the top. Like their deep ball connections have been fantastic. I didn't watch the game, but Marquise Goodwin scoring 2 touchdowns. I mean, like, insane. But yeah, no, I think I don't think this is a mirage. I think we're gonna continue to see Geno doing well. But I do think that team is gonna become a bit more run heavy as the season goes on. So from a fantasy wise, I would just be a little hesitant there. And then the Mike Williams thing. So they do have the Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. They do have the bye this week. I think Keenan Allen is still going to be a major part of that offense, and I think that's actually the primary reason why Herbert has looked so bad is he doesn't have just the possession wide receiver in Keenan Allen. When they come back from the bye, I wouldn't be surprised if Keenan Allen has 10, 11, 12 targets, and they basically try to run the offense through him and Eckler.
Love it, man.
Going to be interesting to track. All right, Coop, we're coming up on an hour here. We got some giveaways coming, but first we definitely got to talk about the Joker's Survivor contest. So for anyone that is holding a Jolly Joker, we had a little extra contest get added into the mix here, where over the next 3 weeks, the top 10% of Jolly Joker holders, nothing extra that you needed to do. All you need to do is enter your standard Rumble lineup, and we have this parallel leaderboard here for the Jolly Jokers, where anyone that is a holder of JJ's will show up here. The top 10% will advance to the next week.
Look at that Fast Eddie. Fast Eddie in chat tonight. Yeah.
210. Crushing it here. Safe. Let's see what the current cash cutoff is. All right. So we're currently at a cutoff of 180.14, but obviously, plenty of time left both in this game and the game tomorrow night. So we'll be tracking that. But yeah, just a, kind of first example of the variety of different things that you're going to see within the Jolly Jokers, and this idea of token gated competitions and leaderboards and week over week contests. I think that's really one of the things that I'm looking forward to the most of this, in addition to the main Rumble contest each week, having the side competitions, having some community leaderboards in the future, having obviously the 3 $100,000 contests that we'll be running for the mint incentive. And Coop, how are you feeling? What do you got there, Justin?
Can you teach me how to upload my Jolly Joker image to the board? Because I see a couple people have done it, but I see a lot that are lacking.
Yeah, we need more Jolly Jokers on these leaderboards.
For sure.
There's no doubt about that, for sure.
Yeah, if you're playing Rumble, you got to have a Jolly Joker on leaderboard. So we just got to click on our little image or little profile on top right, edit profile, and just like that, you can add a profile picture, drag and drop in. So you're going to want to go to your Jolly Joker in your Dapper wallet and right-click it and save the image, and then upload that image here. I've seen people that are uploading screenshots of their image, and then it looks terrible. And the sizing is wrong, and the pixelation is wrong. So right-click. Hey, this is what they say about the JPEGs, right? Right-click save, baby. You own that Jolly Joker. You're going to save that image to your computer, and then you're going to upload that image here. We're going to go ahead and approve it from our side, and then it's going to show up on the leaderboard. So, yeah, we're definitely going to be – I think that's a push that we can make this week, is getting people in there and updating their profiles, because not nearly enough Jokers on the leaderboard. And like, how cool would this be if it was
makes it fun
100% leaderboards? Like, this guy's got a Kobe here. Love that.
I mean, I think the other thing too is name and image. Yeah, it is the golden goat. I saw that earlier. Name and image recognition is 100% something that happens in DFS. It happens on leaderboards all the time. When you have an image and you associate it to your name, people recognize you. We want to know people by their Jolly Joker. We want to know usernames by Jolly Jokers. So yeah, if you got your Joker, get it on that board, get it uploaded. It's going to be fun to follow these contests. I think the other thing I'll ask is, those in chat and anybody that watches this on rerun, I'd love for people to shoot some ideas into either the the JJ Gated channel or the Rundown channel, what other type of contest would you guys be interested in seeing? You know, we ran this Survivor contest. I think it was something that we wanted to do for holders right away as we approach those gated contests that TJ said. But I'd love to know, what are the other things you guys would be interested in playing? You know, we're thinking about these things and we're trying to make it as simple of a process as we possibly can. And I'm sure there are unique contests that we might have not thought about that you guys can bring to the table. So let us know if there's something you want to see. I saw JK's in the chat here with the cool contest. When Justin is talking all of his knowledge, he wants to know, hey, I know you can't play a Rumble, but I think a cool Jolly Joker Rumble contest would be beat the OTM OGs, which is basically saying you want to play against Justin, because that's who we would farm out our contest, our lineup submission to. We field a team of holders and compete specifically to beat OTM. So definitely something we can think about in the future for sure.
TJ, are you proving right now on the screen?
Yeah. Well, I saw people
That's
saying
risky.
approval pending.
That's risky.
I saw people approval pending. See, look at this one. We got super zoomed in one here.
I think that's okay though. I think that's okay. They want to highlight that one.
They want the collapse. There's no.
Oh, that's a great one right there. That guy's on vacation.
No more to review. So you should all be reviewed now, live on stream. Luckily, there was no inappropriate things getting.
We're not doing that anymore.
Hey, I haven't heard of anyone trying to get one over. I think we had maybe one questionable thing, but I think it was fine in the end.
It was an empty.
But yeah, I mean, we got a decent amount of jokers here. Not a decent amount. What do you think? 20%?
Never enough.
Definitely never enough. But 15-20%?
That's not bad.
We can get those numbers up. We'll be getting those up this week.
Those are rookie numbers, man. Those are rookie numbers. We gotta get those numbers up.
Gotta get those numbers up.
All right, man. Right. Let's close with some giveaways for the
doing the wheel.
Let me share my screen. Yeah, let's get some wheels in here. I'm gonna have to do some behind the scenes work over here. So let me get a couple tabs ready. But this will be for the pre-minters. This is for people who pre-ordered and ultimately minted at the end of the pre-order timeline. We did a giveaway for a pretty sweet flame-haired Jolly Joker. Let me open this guy up and bring him over. How can I? There we go. This is what you're gonna win. Is sweet 6? What is this? 0.32%? I believe is there's 16 of these jokers in the wild.
Joker.
It is
the camo aspect to go with it too, because that's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, a sweet trait that I think a lot of people haven't been talking about right now are the stripes too. And man, those purple and green stripes look fantastic alongside the camo too. I love the way this Joker looks. So we're giving away this Joker to those people that pre-ordered. So let me find the list here. Here we go. Okay, so we got 562 wallets on this list. This is every person that minted during pre-order. So if you minted your 6 Jolly Jokers, your wallet is on here 6 times. We're going to spin it up and I'm going to find out which actual username is tied to this wallet. Best of luck. And if you know your Flow wallet address, you'll find out very quickly. All right. So who in the hell has a Flow wallet address that ends DB8?
Here we go.
We're going to find out. Let's see.
I'm like on the edge of my seat. This is pretty
this
exciting.
Person. This person is Top Shot username of Shadow, all day username of Shadow_Jacker. So Shadow Jacker, congratulations. You have won the Flamehead Joker. All right, Justin, walk us through this next giveaway. I got it ready to go. There's only 23 names on here. How the hell did all of these people, or these lucky 23 people, get on this list?
All right, sounds good. I'm looking. I see Shadow Jacker has been in the Discord. Shadow Jacker rocking their PFP as well. Looks like a little Jester robe with backwards Jolly Joker hat. Looking good. Okay, so for this was for our week 6 promotion for Boom Fantasy. All they had to do was, if they had downloaded the app, show a screenshot of their pick. This includes both the OTM Discord channel and the Jolly Joker Discord channel. Right, Coop?
That's right. It does include both of these people. And you only needed to post in one. So I
just want to make sure we
saw
got
a few
everyone.
people post in both. But only needed to post in one. But this is everybody in any of those channels that posted their picks for that timeline.
And this will be for Jolly Joker. So one in, how many did you say? 20?
1 in 23 here. 1 in 23. Probably
23,
one of the best
4%.
chances. Yeah, one of the best chances that we've done for a Jolly Joker. So shout out to you guys that are on the list, helping us out, helping our partners out. That's the only way for us to get more and more partners, is to continue to have successful campaigns. So we appreciate all of your support there. And here we go. Who's going to take
a lot
home?
of familiar names? I think Civilian, he of one of the freshest Jokers out there. Is it going to be easy money? Easy money, Sniper 83.
Sniper.
More like
Boom.
Easy Jolly Joker for just posting a Boom Fantasy chat. So yeah, thank you everyone for helping us out there. As we said, we're going to hopefully continue to do more of these because I think with the Rumble, if we can find companies that are willing to, kind of add additional utility through Rumble contests in exchange for, just getting new people to check out their product, I think it's a win-win for everyone. And so that was what we were trying to do with Boom, and that's what we'll continue to try to do with some more companies. If you have anyone that's in mind that you think, hey, this would be a good partner, a good sponsor for it, feel free to introduce me to them, reach out, let us know.
Love it. Yeah, thanks everyone for participating there. Like Justin said, hoping to have a lot more of those in the future as we build this thing out. And if anyone out there happens to be listening and has a project or a company and is looking to partner with OTM, we would love to do so. All right. What do we got here? It's been about an hour.
It's 16-10, boys. The Steelers are one score away from taking the lead, and they did not look like they were even going to be in the game the first 8 minutes. So it's going to be a heck of a second half for me. I'm excited to at least have a game that we're sweating a little bit.
Oh, yeah. And we do. Oh, yeah. Speaking of partners, we've got a fun one coming. I've lightly teased it a couple of times. Like I know Justin's very excited about it, but we can't say
anything.
Can't say the things. But you guys are gonna like it when we are able to say it. It's gonna be fun.
Started with an NDA, and we still cannot announce anything until they are ready to do a formal press release.
Hopefully soon.
Awesome. Anything else we wanted to make sure that we hit on?
I see two questions about Rarity. So we do have the Rarity info, but we have not yet shared it all out publicly. We've dropped some nuggets here and there, but for now we're just kind of leaving it to people to speculate on what's where, what's not. We will eventually be releasing the full Rarity chart so that we can see that. And then when does public mint end? There is no end date. We're like 3 days into public mint now. We have some good stuff planned for this week to continue the momentum on the mint. We've got OTM Premium going behind paywall next week. We've got the Rumble contests beginning shortly after that. So this is definitely a multi-week mint process, was always intended to be, and things are right on track in terms of what we're looking for. So we're gonna continue to be delivering immediate value to the holders, and then continuing to sell more Jokers to people that are either looking to scoop up their first one or to add to their collection.
And we need the community's help too. Blaze, I think it's a great, good question to be asking. But I think, like you said, if you've been into NFTs, if you're, someone who's seen other projects like pump up a sellout in 24 hours or something like that, we're just built different. We're just not going to be that team that does it that way. We're not at all concerned. I think we're actually very positively, we're coming out of that public mint period and coming into the public phase, feeling very positive about our current position. So we are going to sell out these Jokers. We have those forcing functions that are coming. And at the end of the day, we're going to have the community that we have, and we will keep doing the things that we're going to do no matter what. So it's just all about time from this point on. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll do some stuff this week. We'll get some more people joining the Discord. Get people bringing some friends in there. We got poker game happening on Thursday night. I think we got some things. We'll be letting you know tomorrow the layout of this coming week, and we're gonna keep things moving. It's gonna be fun.
Yep, love it. And yeah, I mean, that's, as we said, hey, it's crazy that the mint was only last week. Feels so long ago in this time, as does all of things in this space, just moving so quickly. But we see it as, hey, as Dapper continues to introduce more and more sports fans to that Web3 space, we're right here to kind of continue to provide that level of the tools, the analytics, the community, the gamification. We see this as a long opportunity, a long play, and we're not like a lot of those projects. We're not trying to get the alpha group, not trying to pay marketers, not trying to get the kind of pump and dump and stuff like that. That's not what this is about. That's never who we are. Never who we never someone we'd be planning for. We care more about, as I said, finding the ways to actually deliver utility through community, gamification, the analytics site, everything like that.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you got ideas, drop them in that channel. We opened that channel for a reason. This is something we're doing with the community. It is totally a we thing. It is not an us and you guys. It is a we thing for sure. So opening up that JJS ideas for those people that are holders in the Discord. So pop in your ideas. We're constantly talking about gamification and things that we can run and platforms to be on and things to be looking at. So if you guys have ideas, some of those will absolutely get adopted. We'd love to hear them.
Love this idea, Special Agent, something we've talked about internally. Definitely something we'll be finding ways for community members to get more involved going forward. As I said, still very early, but yeah, we definitely want to we're going to have lots of opportunities for community members in various forms to get involved. So appreciate you asking. If hey, feel free to reach out to Coop, TJ, or I, just further kind of expressing interest. And when the time's there, yeah, you just ask. There's a trailer for that. Yeah, when the time's right, we'd love to kind of hear from you. And hey, the people who are most active, the people who kind of have the best vibes, the people who kind of understand and kind of align best with what we're building. Those are the ones that we obviously want to be most involved. So there's going to be lots of opportunities for it. Did something happen with
Miami?
Sirius?
4th and 3, Miami going for it here. They're looking to roll the dice. Chip shot field goal. They're going for it.
I don't think
analytics, baby.
Sense.
I just don't understand this. I'll never understand. I guess is this guy lined up off sides? Oh, he's dead. Got him. Let's go.
I see. Yeah, I don't get why.
What was that?
That makes no 4th and 3.
You're keeping the Steelers 15? In the game. You could just extend it to
kick a field goal, go up 9.
Yeah,
I don't think that makes any sense. And you run like that terrible run. Like, I don't think that made sense.
That was a terrible call. Yeah, I don't understand that play at all.
From the 3-yard line, 4th and goal, I get it.
Yeah. So you're on like the 15. It's 4th and 3.
You're only going to get a first down. Like the best opportunity.
Yeah, you got a first down. Now you still have to get a touchdown.
You still have to score. Exactly. Right, it makes no sense to me. Yeah. And that play call was atrocious. Yeah, I don't know. That was a really bad play call. At least put it into his hands.
If we were calling plays for a football team, we'd do it differently.
We got to talk to our friends at Playback. Hopefully, they can get their NFL license back, and we can have the NFL
that would be fun.
That would be a fun stream for sure. Don't worry, guys. I wouldn't talk much on that stream. I would just listen.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to go through it. There's going to be so many more ideas. Love the idea, Zach. Put it in the Discord. Gambling is definitely something we have to be cognizant of, and anything that's pay to play becomes a bit of an issue. But the creativity and the brainstorming is extremely important. Let's keep thinking of ways that we can, build some fun things.
Yeah, last thing I'll say is if you're a community partner, you're out there listening to this, or if you're someone who's part of a community and you feel like really positive about them, look for some more information coming from us this coming week. We have a lot of different things coming for the people that are community partners. Looking forward to continuing our partnership with them. Like I said, it's a we thing. We're trying to do this with all not only JJSS, but other communities out there that are continuing to build, that are thinking about how to bring communities together in the space. So it's a time for all of us to come together. We're still a really small group. There is tons of room to grow. I know a lot of the sentiment can be negative at times, and I think if people just take a step back and look at the broad spectrum of where we are in NFTs and where we are with collectibles and all of the things, we're just all super early. It's going to take some time, but we are going to make it. We are going to get there for sure. So keep an eye on the Discord. We have some community partner things coming for this week. It's going to be fun seeing other communities rally around things that we're ultimately building and bringing to the Jolly Joker Sports Society.
All right, this was fun. TJ, Coop, thanks for having a great show, gentlemen. We'll see you guys later.
Great show. TJ, send us home.
Talk to you guys in Discord. Gonna be another fun week.
The Pliny was out.
Later.
The Pliny Elder was delicious. Thanks, Steve.
All right, boys. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Chat us up in Discord if you got questions, and we'll talk to you soon.